What's up, LEGO builders? Welcome back to another episode of Building Cato Neimoidia. This week I am going to be working on the rockwork again, jumping back to that. I'm really trying to get the rockwork to the level I need to start working on the city because, I'm not just going to be working on rockwork forever. It's got to end at some point. And I want the city to be as close down to the bottom of the mock as possible to save as much as I can on parts because I don't want to build 3 feet up in the air, put the city, and then have to put another 2 feet on top of that. So I think I'm about 12 inches off the bottom of the mock right now. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing in this week, is figuring out where exactly that rock wall needs to be at. I'll also be working on some more of the smaller mountain peaks that go on the mock. The far side, because I didn't know what base plates I was going to be using over there, was left pretty blank as I had to pull some out, put in new base plates. But now that everything's set in stone and finished over there, I can start adding in some more mountains. All in all, it should be a good week full of hauls, time lapses, and more progress. I'm going to be starting out this week with a massive haul. I haven't made an order this big since the days of Utah, so it's kind of cool to get like a big package again. Usually they've been coming in smaller bags. First off, you can see just a big old bag of filler brick. This is orange. The reason I went with orange is because it was extremely cheap and there was a ton of them. I think I got like 400. So that should last me a good little while. I got some more trans-clear 1x1 plate, some more cylinders and trans-clear bricks, and then a bunch of 1x2 dark tan bricks, some 1x1s, and some olive green stuff, and some 2x2s. This was kind of like a replenishment haul because I was just running low on basically everything other than slopes, and so I needed to replenish a bunch of stuff. I did also get some smaller bits for greebling for the acclimator, and we got some smaller slopes in olive green for once we get higher up on the cliff faces. I'll start putting in more olive green. Then some more just random bricks in there. And then I also did get a minifigure. This is a cool little guy. Anytime I make a Bricklink order, I always check to see if there's any Star Wars minifigures. And I saw this guy who was really cheap, and I was like, oh, he'd make a really cool background minifigure. If I ever do a city or a village or something, I've got a random Star Wars looking minifigure to put in there. So very good stuff. This should set me up to have a pretty productive week, and it's time to get building. I got a big influx of filler bricks, so that was one of the reasons why I decided to start with rockwork for this week, was just because, I had a bunch of there, and I really I build with the filler brick until I run out. That's how much I've been going through. I've been having to buy it in such large quantities and I still eat through it. So it's pretty crazy to see, how much I used up. I honestly was not expecting to use this much. I feel like it's time I show you kind of what the cliff faces look like too. I've gotten a lot of work done on them. And I feel like the taller they get, the more you can see the small little slopes and techniques coming together to create one larger shape. So the smaller little rock outcroppings on the front, or the little slopes that come together at a point or something, all the little different formations are starting to come together to create one larger cliff face. And I wanted to show you guys that on both the cliffs because I think that's pretty cool, and I'm hoping the higher up I get, the better the rock work will look, because honestly in the beginning it didn't look that great because it hadn't there wasn't time to create these different structures and shapes or to repeat the patterns that I was working on. It looks like this is going to be the week of hauls because I got yet another haul in, which is good because you can see I'm in dire need of pieces. I got some dark tan 2x4. I don't need any of this, but it was really cheap, and I was already ordering, so I figured why not. I got a bunch of olive green, some slopes, 1x2s, those will go in there, and then some 1x2 dark tan slopes, those will go back in there. Trans clear bricks for the clouds, more 1x1 olive green, and then a mixture of parts in here. So these are for the acclimator. These 2 white pieces are the 2 final pieces I need for that gunship. I actually ordered this before the acclimator was finished, so some of these parts I won't even need, but I'll use them in future mocks. It looks like they threw my trans clear plates in there for some reason. I'm not sure why, so I'm gonna have to go through and sort that bag out. Looks like that's pretty much everything. I got some more trans clear cylinders. So another great haul, and I've been doing a lot of work on this rock face, and you can see right here especially, it just looks so different than the other side. This side is all very flat and very wavy. I wanted to simulate a lot of water erosion just because this is a very tall cliff face. It's going to be very high up in the air. So you can see right here, I even added a chunk of slopes and inverted slopes on the front right here. I just felt like this front cliff face was too flat, so I added that in to break up this whole section, and then I'm going to put some plate right there to break up that section. One of the things you'll want to be aware of if you're going to use this technique of putting your slopes so they're facing either side, kind of like this, instead of having them go back, is you're going to have a lot of flat surface on the front. So you're going to want to figure out something to kind of get rid of as much of it as you can, because obviously if you have just a plain flat cliff wall, that's not really going to make sense or look very realistic. Here in the back, I'm working on this filler wall. So I'm going to have this arch come up across the top like this and come down to the other side. Basically doing the same thing I did with Utah. That way I can get in here and reach around and fix stuff if I have to. And I'll also save a lot of money having that hole right there, and this will never be seen in the actual mock. I don't think much has changed over here since you guys last saw this. You saw a time lapse of me putting in that orange filler brick. I've actually decided, I think I know how high I'm going to go before I start working on the bridge area. I think I'm going to go to about right here, maybe a little bit higher. So you can see I've started to experiment with putting in dark gray plate and brick. There's going to be a huge section or a huge chunk of dark gray right here, basically to represent some kind of like metal or stone structure that was put in here that's going to hold the cities. Another thing I need to do this week is add some more of these mountain peaks over here. Now that I've got these base plates in and I've got this rock wall in and I know where everything's going to be, I need to fill in these areas. That way I don't have a bunch over here and then there's just nothing right here. Here's a little time lapse of me working on some of the smaller mountaintops. These are really easy and really fun because, you know, unlike most of the stuff in Cato Neimoidia, I can sit down and build them from start to finish in a matter of minutes, whereas most of these things, you know, I start, I'm like, okay, I can finish this section, you know, a few weeks from now or a week from now or something, but these I can really just crank out pretty quickly. I don't want to do too many because you have to remember, you know, there are giant mountains underneath these, and so I can't have them too crowded or too close together, or else that wouldn't really make sense to have all these mountains. So I think, you know, I may add one or two more on each side, but for the most part, this will probably be it. To wrap up week one, I'm going to give you another overview of the whole mock. It's looking pretty good. It's starting to come together. It's looking more mock-like every day. You can see there in the back, I've got those two mountains that I did, as well as the Wolfpack gunship I'm working on. Hopefully next update I should be able to show you that completed. Another thing I've been working on is over here. Last night I put in a bunch of studs and other trans clear bricks to make like a bunch of cloud work around those pipes. I was just really excited to see the pipes coming out of the clouds, so I went ahead and put those in. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm excited for this whole area to be covered in those studs. I am also going to be buying a bunch of these 1x2 trans clear plate. That'll help bring down the amount of studs that I'll need to purchase, and I think those plates will still look pretty cool. I also wanted to show you guys this section again. I think I showed it to you already, but man, look at those angles. I feel like that looks so cool. It could be just me. You guys will look at it and think, that's lame, or that's weird, but I just wanted to show you guys that. I was pretty happy with how that little section turned out. All in all, it was a pretty good week. Like I said earlier, next week is going to be diving more into getting up to the right height. I honestly think I might just need to do one more layer on this side and then one more layer on that side. You can see over here on this side, I've started to flatten out this middle section, and I'm starting to do the same thing on the other side. You can see that big section right there is all pretty much lined up and on the same plane. Big flat section where that big chunk can sit evenly. All in all, another good week in the books, and it's time to go hit the outro. I hope you guys enjoyed this week of building Cato Neimoidia. I'm excited because hopefully next week I'll be getting more into how I'm going to be supporting the city and what those dark bluish gray, you know, pads or sections on the rockwork are going to look like. It'll be nice because now, you know, instead of just going between rockwork and cloudwork, I can start to work on the city, and hopefully take a break from both of those for a little bit as I kind of focus on how it's going to be held and what it's going to look like, because honestly, I don't know much more than you guys. I do have some rough ideas, but those are definitely going to need to be fleshed out pretty soon here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up, and of course, don't forget to let me know what you thought about this video down below in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content. But until next time, happy building.